Hello, guys, and welcome to PWIRD, and welcome to our Saturday show with our lovely host Samuel. So, I hope that you guys are okay and well. I'm just coming over to the page so that I can come into the room and see who's in there. Guys, tonight's topic we are going to be speaking about demons. Okay, so a little bit of history on that. I will do a follow on from Samuel's show like I am doing with the angels tomorrow. So, we hope that you enjoy this show and that you get to understand a little bit more about what demons are and things like that. And I'm sure Samuel is very much going to be able to educate you to the best of his knowledge. And then I will take over on another day. So if I put that over to you, Samuel, and guys, please like and share out. And over to you, Samuel.
Well, how are you guys doing tonight? I will say this much, start now. It's sort of a different topic than it's normally discussed. And I hope you find it, I guess you could say educational, in a different sort of way. All right, I guess we'll get started now. A demon, by definition, is that of an evil spirit or devil that is thought to possess a person or act as a tormentor of hell. Another definition of a demon is that of an agent of evil or harm, distress, and even ruin. It is also that of the in-between of a god and a human being. In theory, also, they are angels that were casted out of heaven. So if you read Genesis, depending on which religious text, in a certain way, they started out as angels, then became something completely different. There are various classifications of demons and also various hierarchies from different points of view and perceptions. In the 16th and 19th and the 17th centuries, demonologists and others developed a system to match certain exorcists with certain demons to have a better chance at what they call fighting evil or exorcising demons from people, and to call certain saints that would be needed for the job itself. Certain hierarchies have different aspects of what is of the strongest and most important. The list of the hierarchy of the demons of this. There's the kings of hell. First off, I'll start off with was Baal. He has a head like a toad, a cat, and a man. Supposedly has a great speaking voice, kind of a commanding one, and very good at it. And he has been known to command 66 legions of demons. He has estates in the east gate of hell. And so we move on. Paimon, he has an allegiance towards Lucifer, teaches liberal arts and to people and certain sciences. He's able to be summoned by conjurers, and whenever he is conjured, he demands a sacrifice. He has over 200, and it's also with Paimon, he's got over 200 legions of various entities at his command. Belith has a certain amount of love towards women and men. He is able to be conjured, and the conjurer must show respect and homage to him. They must have a wand made of hazel. Must have a wand of hazel. The conjurer must be courageous. The conjurer must have certain diagrams ready to go on the ground, and the conjurer must also be wearing a silver knight on his left hand and in the center of it, his finger. He has over 85 legions at his command. Mine is a king and a count. That's something of a difference. He has 36 demons at his command, can tell about the past, present, and future. He's also able to find witches and other things, and people, and able to bring storms and destroy castles and walls. He has 3 heads. One is a bull, one is a man, and also one that is a ram. Belial And some people have heard of this guy. He has 80 legions of demons at his command. He has 50 spirits under his command also, and he has the ability to grant titles to people, demons, and upper level demons. He has the ability to grant abilities towards those of his followers and must be presented a sacrifice in order to do that. Keep in mind, though, the kings, depending on the certain situations, can oftentimes be rather good towards those followers that he does have. I don't know what happens to those followers once they go to hell, but while they're alive, oftentimes the kings of hell have been known to be very good to their followers. Now we'll go on to the 7 princes of hell, and with this, some of these names might be recognized. And it also goes to the 7 princes of hell. Lucifer, which most of us know, is the sin of pride. It's an intense desire to show one's achievements and also to be admired. He is considered to be one of the prince of rebellion. Him and other angels were cast out of heaven because of trying to take over heaven itself. He has been called the morning star, but not actually being the morning star, but is to be having the illusion of being that of it. So basically, he casts some illusion, and people seem to think that with him. He has been called the morning star, but to not actually be the morning. I've already read that. Sorry about that. Many scholars have referred to him as being the destroyer of the land, slaying of people, and the seed of evil, and seducer of Eve. His appearance can be considered that of he still looks angelic, wings, the aura, and all that other stuff. His wings, though, are that of being jet black, and there you go. Here's another one that's I guess you can say of the 7 princes, is Beelzebub. That of the immortal king of gluttony. He is the sin of gluttony. He has an intense urge to eat and excessively overeat, basically binge eating, and was considered to be the prince of the seraphim, but that kind of fell out. He has the reigning control over witches of the Sabbath, and his appearance can be that of a giant fly with a crown over his head. Then you got Mammon, which is the son of greed, and has the intense and selfish desire of wealth, power, and even food. Then we've got, he tempts others to getting what he wants, basically good old-fashioned manipulation, and his appearance looks like he is an over-the-top spoiled nobleman. His skin is extremely pale, and the color of him can shift very constantly. This one, some of these I cannot pronounce, so please bear with me. Asmodeus is considered to be the sin of lust. Has an over-the-top need for sexual desire, forces men to commit adultery. He has been known to be a slayer of married men, and in the past has been linked to Cupid of certain other mythologies. And here's another one, which is kind of different, but some of you might know what it is. Leviathan is considered to be the sin of envy, and he also wants everything that someone else has. His power is chiefly over water. His body has warped when he fell to hell, and resembles that of a sea serpent that is sort of crossed with a bit of a giant whale. And Belfinger, I can never pronounce that, is considered to be the son of sloth, the sin of sloth. He has reluctance to work or take most of any action because of laziness. He is considered to be a huge shapeshifter, can assume the shape of a beautiful woman, can also appear as a monstrous male with leathery skin, huge horns, and they're long with sharp, jagged teeth and sharp, jagged nails. His human-like appearance can look like that he has long blonde hair, over-the-top evil eyes, and can often turn the idea of laziness into sloth. In a general way, he is an extreme, just over-the-top, extremely, that he takes laziness to a different level altogether. And he's considered to be the reluctant archmedium of sloth because he did not join God's army to combat the treasonous angels. Then we got another one. This one's pretty obvious. Satan. He is considered to be the son of wrath. He is considered to be the sin of wrath. Wrath is that of extreme and vengeful anger. He brings rage, anger to a whole nother level. It has been considered to be around since God, and has been around, and he's definitely been around. He tried to persuade Jesus away from his destiny. He is also considered to be that of a pretty boy the way he looks. He oftentimes has jet black hair. He is supposedly above a regular height, and he can also be seen wearing a demon-like uniform. So to some extent, Satan, he's a good-looking guy, a very good-looking guy, but like I said, he's got his faults. And he is a tempter. He tries to persuade people towards the darker side of life and death and everything in between. Then we have, then there are a group of legions, demons that can possess people one at a time, and those legions can persuade, and those legions can, I'm sorry about that. Legions can possess one person by groups. In theory, a legion of demons can consist of 2,000. So those legions, which I did talk about for, say, like 66 legions, that actually would be 2,000 times 66. So if you do the math right, that's a lot of demons. And these demons that I'm talking about, the princes, the kings, and even the noblemen, those demons have, not only are they intimidating, they also have followers that are over the top, tough as nails. So whenever you think about it, you got 22 times 66 times 2,000. Like I said, it's a whole lot of demons in an army of an army. They have high-ranking demons that have been known to have legions at their disposal. They sometimes have certain natural elements that they're associated with. Some of those commanders of Hell's military have one or more legions ready to go. The legions are ready to go fall into sort of European feudalistic like chain of command. Sort of like knights, earls, princes, kings, and everything. Basically feudalistic Europe back in the day. So they do have their hierarchy and the people and certain demons that they're supposed to follow. So in other words, if a lord was to tell somebody that's a prince, not a prince, but an earl, that demonic duke not duke, but earl will have to listen to him. Some of the dukes of hell are Agrius. He's designated to rule the eastern part of hell. He has around 27 to 31 legions. Then Belfar, he has been known to command 10 legions. Zepar, his position, if that is of a great duke, he commands 26 legions and also inferior legions, but it still doesn't make him any less dangerous. Then you got Bone, I cannot pronounce him. Is also considered to be a great duke, which is like Zephyr, and he has 30 legions of demons ready at his command. So when it's time to rock and roll, there you go. Viol, he is also a great duke, and he has 37 legions of demons. Murmur, has the title of Great Duke and Grand Earl also, and he has 30 legions under his command. And the Vapula, also a powerful Great Duke, also has 36 legions ready in wait. Then you have Aim, who has 26 legions of demons under his command. He has the power to turn men witty and also give truth answers towards private matters. And can be said to have the head of a serpent, a man, and a cat. Some say he carries a firebrand, which he sets things ablaze upon anybody's request. One of the things that weren't necessarily discussed on, and I probably said this, but I'll say it again, the legions of hell and also the dukes, the earls, and those people that are human that follow them, depending on the person or a demon, they've also been known to be very good towards their followers. And so that's how it can go at any given second. We have the Earls of Hell. Furfur is a great Earl of Hell. He's considered to be a huge liar. When put in a magic triangle, he is compelled to tell the truth. With this, he has an extremely rough, tough-sounding voice. He has 26 legions of demons under his command and has the ability to cause things to happen. Love between a man and woman, storms, tempests, lightning, and blasts. He's able to teach on those issues of the divine. So there's an old saying, if you want to hear it, know thy enemy. And Furfur is somebody that knows his enemy dramatically well. Then you have Rom, who is a great Earl of Hell. He has 30 legions under his command also. He's depicted as a crow and can take human form at a request of the conjurer. He's able to steal treasure from people with substantial income. He's able to destroy cities and is able to tell the past, present, and the future. So, like I said, some of these demons that somebody might think of and everything, you have to remember something. These are not people to be playing around with. And these are not individuals, beings to play around with. And depending on the demon especially. Then you have Glysa Lubolus, and he commands 36 legions of demons. He's the author and commander of manslaughter and bloodshed. He incites homicides and can make a man invisible. Then Renov, he commands 20 legions of demons. He teaches art and rhetoric and other languages, and he has been known to be very good towards his friends, followers, and servants. Not saying I'm not condoning this, but for the most part, one of the things I've learned in doing this is just because something is of light doesn't make it all good. And then there's other things that are of darkness doesn't make them all bad. And Renov is a very good example of that. Then we also have the Knights. Furcus. He has 20 legions of demons. He looks like a cruel man and rides a horse and carries a very sharp weapon. It's not specifically what he carries, but he does carry a very sharp weapon. I guess you could say like a sword, a lance, a pike, and it varies on what he wants and what he doesn't want. He also teaches rhetoric. He also teaches rhetoric, philosophy, logic, astronomy, chromancy, and pyromancy. Pyromancy is that of being able to, depending on your point of view, have fires come forth, and then there's other people that say you can do that, and also commands them to do things. So say like if someone was to light a cigarette, and the cigarette needs flame to start, and the fire gets going, he can make it look like a dragon, he can make it look like a dog, and various other things. In other words, he manipulates flames to do what he wants and to do what his will wants. And he also teaches all those things, and he's very good at it. it all depends on the person, on who is following and who is not following. And also consider this with Furcus, he is a knight of hell. He doesn't have the most legions, but whenever it comes to fighting, within Hell's hierarchy, or whether it's even, I guess you can say, whenever it's even the force of good, he'll even fight the forces of evil to further what he wants. And so there you go. And on conclusion, in various different ways, there are demons of various sorts, abilities, and various strengths with certain weaknesses. Ages ago, demonologists came up with this system to establish rank of various demonic entities. The reason they did this is because they had to find which demon could be exorcised by the right exorcist, and the exorcist would be guided by a saint. In doing so, they gave humanity this system that they set up. It gave humanity a fighting chance with certain forces that were raging against the entire human race. In a general sense, they gave humanity hope when all else was failing, and it relieved the loss. In other words, because the system, he gave them a fighting chance. And if it was for that day and time, I guess you could say people came under the notion that there was no hope, but the saints, the beings, the priests, the ministers, in certain ways, they're humanity's. I guess you can say humanity's champions and everything. And the hell has had champions, but at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen. But I guess to say, humanity in a whole has to fight back, and this is what was came up with in order to fight them. But like I said, with all that, that's a report that I did. I had to do a lot of research, but like I said, just because something's good doesn't make it of light, and just because something bad doesn't make it of darkness. And at the end of the day, I guess to say, at the end of the day, or at the end of all this, we'll find out what humanity is made of, and we'll find out in various different ways. And well, let me see if anybody's got any questions for him. If anybody wants to hear, if anyone wants to ask.
I've not seen anything. No messages. There's hardly anybody in the room, which is really weird. We've got like a few people.
Wait, did I do it too quickly?
There's no, like all of our usuals that we've normally got in here is not in here at the minute.
No.
Hello, Gyro. Like they're all just starting to come in now.
So how are you doing, Mr. Ghost Shadow?
Hello, Jacqueline, darling. How are you? It's really good to see you all in here. So yeah, Samuel was just talking about demons and the different alchemies of them, but basic information and stuff on them, to what they are, their names and meanings for their state of stay here and why they're around. And
in a general sense, I could say, I guess, gave some amount of organization. Gave some amount of organization. And like I said, the people back in the day, whenever this was first started up, it was pure genius. I mean, they would use resources from Christianity, Hebrew sorts of stuff, found the Dead Sea Scrolls, other things like that, tablets, even some things, I guess you can say, on Jewish temples. They were able to do some amount of research with that. They came up with these different systems, and also And also, what else is there? They use the Torah, sometimes even the Kabbalah, to find that sort of thing, and that was the beginnings of demonology to some degree. So at the end of the day, that we take a look at it, there was tons and tons of research, and nowadays, this isn't exactly the best of the best, but they had to do something with everything. From temples, even certain Greek temples that they had, and Mesopotamia had certain records like on the ground and this and that, in buildings that were in buildings and everything. It's because those people that made those sacrifices to find out what and who they are. Does anybody else have any questions? Maybe.
And also with demons and stuff as well, what you've got to remember is some of the demons are known as fallen angels, which are, energies of a higher divine power that once was of God and has sinned, so they become of the darker side. Not all of them, but a lot of them are known as fallen angels. That is
Of
what demons
course.
are associated with, some of them.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they say that in the different areas of hell, like, to where you go is obviously the destiny of you and what you've done. So if you've done something that's not nice but not major, then you'd go to the area of hell where you learn basic, and you're taught basic torture and things like that. But you have to stand for your sacrifices and the things that you've done. And the worse of a person you become, the worse hell becomes.
yes, and definitely, Sherry. I've talked to some people that consider them Satanists and everything, and there's various different reports and other things like that. Some of them have their own system, but many of them said that hell, for the most part, was that of the ultimate punishment, not having a relationship with God, depending on the person, and like I said, demons are the ultimate punishers for bad choices, bad mistakes. Some of those can be drug use, selling drugs, murder, and the list goes on and on.
Well, if you're being realistic, demons are really there to test your strength in your loyalty. Are you going to go to their side, or are you going to be loyal to God and be in God's eye what He would form as His child? You know what I mean? So you kind of got one way or the other way to go. Like some people, they don't live in belief or in any sort of religion, but they're not bad people, so they're still going to go to God and that. But the devil's work and the demons, his followers, and if that's a lord, a duke, if that's a king, if that's a lower class demon, if that's a middle class demon, whatever they are, that these very entities are put on this world to test our loyalty. And obviously, if we sin and go against God's word, which is what they want us to do, then yes, we have to face that sacrifice, and we have to stand for what we have done. Now, God can come down to anywhere He wants to and remove anybody from anywhere. If you prove yourself in hell and you show yourself remorse and you learn for your problems, God can come down and save you. But obviously, if you're somebody that's been there many times, you're not learning through each life that you've had, then you become bound to hell.
Oh
They will not
yes.
release you to come back out. You know what I mean? There's some of you that stay there because for very apparent reasons, and some of you are there to learn your judgment and to learn for the sin that you've done. And once you've learned that, that's when God comes down to you and takes you up to where He is, which is heaven, and cleanses you and learns you to go for your new life. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? So
hmm And you summarized it better than I did, and I like that. But I will say this much: nobody knows necessarily uh, what's going to end up with us and everything, but we have to keep trying. And these demons, this feudalistic hierarchy, has been involved in various different things, but it gives us knowledge on how to combat it. And like I was saying, the saints, well, like I said, with the exorcists, they were guided by the saints. And so say like if you're going to fight Leviathan, you're going to need a saint and an exorcist that can deal with something that is of the water symptom or what system or whatever. We can also, and you take on Lucifer is not someone you want to take on at all. And then you got the kings who they're tough as nails and they'll keep being tough. But with everything, with the civil war of heaven, we have the symptoms of hell and all this other stuff. And there's very many different categories that I didn't mention, many different categories. But if you want to, like I was saying, if you want to learn anything, think of the 7 deadly sins, which not elements. You've got wrath, lust, greed, envy, gluttony, envy, and sloth. And with all those, preventing yourself from these sins. In other words, it's one thing to have that in your life, but whenever you are compelled to keep doing it over and over again, that's whenever you're setting yourself up for disaster. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't learn from the mistakes that you're making while you're here. So the more you're doing it, the worse it gets, and
yes,
the more you determine your place that you're going to go to. So, and even though hell is the place that you go to for sins, and that they're here for a very good reason. They're here to test you. They're here to win you over from God and to make you like them. That is what they're trying to do. They're trying to show if you're loyal or you're not. Okay,
yes.
so if you're loyal, you're not going to fall to their sin, are you? But if you're not loyal, you're going to follow what they're putting out there. You're going to become worse than what you was before, and that's what happens. And that's why you've got like the powers of, like, you've got the angels that try to follow us in the good way. Then you've obviously got demons. They try to steer us in the wrong way. But there is good and bad in everything. There are certain demons that people work with that, like, to me, in my opinion, any demon that you work with, it comes with a price. Okay, you can't just work with them and not expect to give anything back. Okay, so
yes, and
any sort of demon's not good in that category. But there are people that work with them, and there are some demons that help people in other ways. They're not all supposedly as evil as they're made out to be, but any demon, in my opinion, is something you don't want to cross, because you'll be in debt the minute you use them. You know what I mean? So
yes, and you can also take a look at Hinduism that has been known to combat demons and everything. Take Kali, an example for that. She's a god, but she went after them, and she would go after demons in a dramatic way with all the arms that she has. And every single arm has a weapon whenever it comes to her going into combat. That's a force to be reckoned with. Now, if you want to take another look over at Japan, you have fox demons, you have fire demons, and this and that, even natural giant beasts, which are considered demons and everything. But their system is completely different than the 3 Abrahamic faiths. And
and that's what I'm saying. Like, in different cultures and in different places, demons mean different things. Okay, just like angels mean different things in different places as well. But demons are, in my opinion, not all of them, but a lot of demons are fallen angels. They are something of a higher power that's deceived and has had to go that way, and becomes the followers and the workers of the king of hell, which is Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call him. And their very work is to be out in this world and trying to pollute as many of God's children as they possibly can.
Basically,
and that is what they do. That's why there's all these different things in this world that we've got to resist, but it's in our life every day. You know, life's not meant to be easy because we're supposed to be learning about the
Yes.
true value of who we are. Okay,
Well,
and the true value is
yes.
being true to God, not being true to the devil. But
Yes.
sadly, there are people that follow him, and there's people that
Hmm.
follow God. You know, and
But I will add on to this. Many people out there, whenever it comes to combating that sort of thing, many people find that inner peace within themselves in combating it. Heaven's Army, if you want to call it that. You take the archangels who are notorious for fighting that sort of thing. I mean, look at Michael. He casted Lucifer out of heaven. But also in those days, in the book of Genesis, um, there, and depending on your point of view, uh, demons were already there, depending on your point of view. You had the demons who were already in hell, but whenever those angels got kicked out of heaven, uh, then they added to the toughness, the seriousness, and everything like that. In a general way, those people who we're all people that are supposed to find that, how can I put this, that inner peace within themselves. And like I said, people have to find that inner peace and they have to be true to what they are. And it doesn't matter what we all think, it doesn't matter what we all do. That's the reality. We cannot escape that reality. We cannot go forth without facing it through thick and thin. And that's how that's some of the people that I've met. They didn't have that. And so that's how they ended up. And they have to go through a different set of rules and maybe one day have repentance of what they've had.
yeah, people try to say aliens and demons are one in the same. They call them the Watchers. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say necessarily that aliens and demons are the same. Aliens are of a life form of the solar system and the sky and things like that, where demons are an energy of the spiritual realm and from hell. You know, as much as you don't want to believe it, hell is just as much a spiritual place than heaven is. Okay, it's still a place where souls and spirits live. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so trying to consider that with an alien, which is a real life form thing that actually breathes and has a heartbeat and things like that, they're completely different things. Yeah, they are both known as Watchers. Demons are definitely known as Watchers because they are the Watchers of the night. They are the Watchers of sin. They
Mm-hmm.
will watch you to see if you go against God's will and do
Yes.
their way. You know what I mean? Then you've got aliens. Yes, aliens are Watchers as well. They watch over the planet. They watch at the things that we do, but they
Mm-hmm.
are not the same. Yes, some aliens can be evil and just as dangerous as a demon, but they are not demons.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, you'll sit there. They'll be watching aliens. They'll be watching things and keeping tabs and everything. They watch wars. They watch birth. They watch destruction. They watch creation, war, repentance, all kinds of
They
things.
both do. Both of these
Yes.
these species watch that stuff. And they couldn't be they couldn't be any different. They are completely the opposite. Yeah, there is good and bad in everything, but an alien is not a demon and a demon's not an alien, in my opinion. You know, they're two
Yes.
completely different forms of existence. Okay. um you know, some aliens may have tendencies like demons. They may be nasty, may be dangerous, whatever, you know, but it doesn't make them, it doesn't make them demons. They don't come
No.
from Satan. They come from somewhere completely different.
Yes, that is over the top true. But like I said, with demons and angels and aliens, it varies from person to person, experience to different experience.
Jacqueline,
Um,
if you've got a amethyst pendulum, the best thing to do is to put your pendulum onto some salt and to cleanse it. That way you can put it also into the full moons as well. But put it onto some salt, sage it, cleanse it, do a prayers over it. Then what you're supposed to do is hold it into you to give your residual energy to the pendulum, because obviously it's your energy that is going to be helping to communicate with the spirit world. So you would cleanse it, like I said, on the salt, use your sage, your sandalwood, those sort of things, put it in the sunlight, pray over it, put it in the moonlight as well, pray over it, take it out, put it in your hand, let the energy fulfill the tool, because it needs your energy. And then when you use it, obviously you have to pray before you open and before you use it, and you have to pray after you've used it as well, because obviously when you're using a pendulum, you're opening the doorways to the other side, you're communicating with the other side. So just opening, making sure that you've got like a candle and some crystals and stuff out for protection and stuff. When you're using it, you'll be absolutely fine. And the basic things is putting it under sunlight and moonlight, full moon preferably, or putting it into, like I said, salt, and blessing over it and using your sage and stuff.
What would you think, Sherry, of black salt as compared to sea salt?
But black salt's a completely different thing to a sea salt. A sea salt is just like a natural element and a natural material that has nothing done to it. Where with black salt has different ingredients put into it that is made to be able to help in those spiritual ways. So it's a completely different thing. And it's made up differently as well. Like you've got different materials that you'd put into black salt. You would pray over it. You would do that. Obviously with white salt and sea salt, you can still use them for protection as well. But 9 times out of 10 with white salt, they don't put anything else into it. It's just the natural substance. But when it's certain things like black salt, grey salt and things like that, it's all, a lot of it's got different materials in it.
Well, yes, definitely.
I think all salts, to be quite honest, all salts are powerful. They're all protection material. They're all just for different things. They're not all going to work for the same thing.
Definitely. Wanted to hear your perspective. I love it. Your perspective. I loved it. Also, what is your opinion on Palo Santo?
Palo Santo. Well, over here we call that Palo Santo. We call that sandalwood.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now, sandalwood and Palo Santo are very similar, and they are a spiritual tool. And they're very good at opening your spiritual abilities, and they're very good at cleansing your chakras and your auras and stuff as well. It's something you would use to clean your physical elements that you have, so your chakras and stuff like that. Very good for when you're communicating with spirit as well, because it's a very pleasant and peaceful smell. So it's very pleasant to the good spirit, but to a negative spirit,
it's nauseating.
It wouldn't like it.
Yeah, it's definitely nauseating.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a very powerful substance. It's a very powerful tool to use. But again, it's like anything. You've got to have the belief in what the tool that you're using for it to work fully.
Yes, definitely. I mean, as some of you know, I do alchemy. And whenever it comes to getting different perspectives, at least for me individually, I need people like you. I really do. I need people like you to give me, maybe I'm going in a different direction that's not good. Maybe I'm doing the right direction. But that's one of the reasons why I listen to people like you and a few other people that I've known in my life. And over the years, still to this day, there are certain things I can do alchemy-wise and some things I can't. Like I said, with me, I can do defensive potions and also sealing, but I also have my compound sort of things that I have potion wise. And whenever I have those sorts of things, I do everything I can to get like I said, get a different perspective. But I'm trying to do it to where it works in a general way, because what I'm doing with the seal work, I make that into a shadow potion. That not necessarily it's all good, not necessarily it's all bad, but with the seals that I try to do is that I try to contain things in certain ways or prevent them from happening. The potions I have that, like I said, they're offensive. So in case something was to come inside, I can banish it and banish it quick. I've been trying to learn Latin to make it more effective. And so, with people like you, Sherry, like I said, once again, you're a necessity. You're not an extra, you're a necessity. And I need to
Yeah.
be hearing stuff like that from you.
Some ministers of stuff that we give it to her all day is from the dark one. The thing is in life there is good and bad in everything. Okay, now not everybody that uses dark magic is doing stuff in a very negative way. They're not. You know what I mean? They're both elements and energies that can be used, and it all depends on how you portray that out. You could be a white witch and do white magic, but if you're thinking in a negative way, you could make something that goes completely wrong and goes dark.
Yes.
Okay, it's the same with dark magic, as people would say. You could have the elements of darkness that you're using, but you're doing it in a positive way. It doesn't mean you're harming anyone, it means you're helping. Okay, so I don't believe that black magic means bad and white magic means good. I believe that they're both equal, okay, and they both can be used in a way that you choose to use them. So if you choose to use them both badly, they will do bad work, and if you choose to use them good, then they will do good work. You don't keep it separated. And I'm not being funny, but in magic and stuff, yeah, you're not using just one element, you're using both. Okay. And there are gods and goddesses that are associated with the light and with the dark. They're both. Okay, that does not make them evil. That does not mean we're doing evil work. It's just their belief, it's their way, and it's something that we believe in.
Yes.
I've got elements in my witchcraft where they would be associated with light work and dark work, but that doesn't mean that I'm a black witch, because I'm not a black witch, I'm a white witch. It's just that some of the elements of the dark goddess or the dark god symbolizes with my white goddess and my white god. Okay, so it's put together. It's how you choose to form your work. If you're going to go in there negatively and think negatively and want to do negative, then you can do that. Not just in black magic, you could do it for your white.
Yes, definitely balance. Over the
it's
top
all about
balance.
the person in control of the work. It's not, nothing is made dark or black, or like magic is, even though it's named black magic and white magic, it's not the energy in front of you that's negative. It's what the person that's using it's doing that makes it a black magic or a white magic. You know what I mean? Because of what they do, what they put into it, things like that.
And you definitely summarize that. Basically, you're saying
Good
balance.
night, Gyro.
No, but you're also saying balance, which I highly respect.
Okay, Jacqueline, sweetheart, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Jacqueline. But like I said, with balance, you achieve that greatly and everything. Because with me, I try like hell to be balanced. I'm not exactly a prime believer,
you have
but
to be, and you definitely have to be in this world. And I'm not being funny, but nothing is balanced if you haven't got the light and the dark. The light and the darkness makes a balance. Okay, that is just the way of the world. That is the way of our race. That is everything. There's good and bad in everybody.
Yes, definitely.
It's all about how we portray that out. Do you know what I mean?
1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Like, in my opinion, demons are not something for you to go looking for. Okay, but demons can be worked with. Demons can do certain things, and you don't always have to give your soul over or give things over to them to do that. It depends on what sort of demon they are and what they're resembled with, because there are demons that are specifically only for witchcraft, which is it's a demonic, but it's not a demonic of Satan. It's a demonic of witchcraft. It's a completely different energy, and you can use that in a good or a bad. You know what I mean? So there are different elements. There are different ways.
Well,
not every dark energy and not every demon that you come across is made of Satan.
Well, I developed this one last night, potion wise. I wanted to show you. Tell me what you feel with this. That's my defensive and also doing the seals. So say like I have it around every single place in my apartment. So I have it on the door frames, the windowsills, the air conditioning vents. I have it in the bathroom. Anything
Yeah,
that
so
leads
you put it
outside.
into areas to seal things so that nothing can come through. That's what it is. It
Yeah,
stops energies from entering into your
it's
realm, into your area.
it's more along the line, and I'm agreeing with you, but it's also more along the lines of prevention, like you just said. It's a shadow potion. I kind of busted my tail in
Yeah,
last
well, a
night.
shadow potion is where you're getting rid of negative energy. So it is that, but
Mhm.
the other side that you've just said, that is where you're stopping energy from coming into your home. You're keeping yourself and your home locked off from the energy that you're not wanting to enter your home.
And also prevention of ill intent from
Yeah,
coming in.
that as well. Yeah, stops you from thinking in bad and negative ways. Yeah,
And yeah, and prevention if somebody else comes in.
it's a very them sort of potions are very powerful, and they
Thank
can
you.
do a lot of work.
Yeah,
A lot of
definitely. Thank you. Because there's always those spiritual entities that have, like wolves in sheep's clothing. They may come across as good entities, but
they're what you would class as the tricksters, the ones that pretend
yes,
to be something they're not.
and that's why I
Mm.
developed this one. I developed this potion, and I used Palo Santo, sage, also black salt, sea salt, castor oil, uh, and French lavender, and a few other things. And then whenever I put it in there, I did my prayers, spell casting, and infusing, and I turned it into a defensive and seal potion. Like I said, with you, Sherry, you're kind of an inspiration of balance and everything. I appreciate it, and that's what I have. So I'm not saying it's foolproof, but I have to keep. I guess you can say I have to keep up with it, and so I have those things around every seal.
Yeah, like
So
the more that you use it and the more that you work with it, the more easier it gets to understand those tools. And that it's not something
mhm,
you're just going to start being able to do. You do need to work on it and keep doing it. And the more
mhm.
that you use the tools and the more you put your energy into it, the more stronger and powerful they get as
Yes,
well. So,
definitely.
you can make a spell, you can do a ritual, you can do whatever. It doesn't just suddenly start working. You've got to empower that to happen. That's why
And
when you
that's
see me making my things up, you'll see me put the candles on, and you'll start me see me doing things with my hands and doing little chants. You have to make that energy grow
come out. Yeah, and
and to come out and to fulfill what you want it to do. It's not just you're not just going to light a candle or do this ritual and it's just going to start happening. You've got to empower that. It's you
yes,
that makes the magic. The
hmm
tool's just there to enhance it.
and that's what I did. And it's
Yeah.
like I'm caught, especially on the issue of magic wise. And the one thing I will say is that whenever it comes to magic, it's not a light show. It's not pyrotechnics. Yes, some people can do that sort of thing, and it's a place called Hollywood. It's a place called Hollywood that they do that sort of stuff. But this right here, it's not. But you have to be on guard and everything. I've also got offensive potions, and the time I showed you that offensive potion, I'm like thinking, did I actually impress her with that? It's like that was kind of an honor that you saw that one, and
Yeah.
because you whenever it comes to you, there's times I need your advice, and guess what? I'm going to keep going to you. So, and that's
And
how it
that's what you
goes.
got to do. You just have to speak to me and that. You go, like, what do you think of this? That, and I always give my
hmm
honest opinion. Well, that one feels very very powerful, and it feels like this, but I'm only going to say what I feel in that. And like sometimes you might message and I might not get back to you, but it's because I'm busy doing like my own stuff as well, like trying to. I'm not just here learning you guys how to be who you are. I help people on the outside of YouTube as well. So
Obviously, that's you,
it,
Sherry.
it,
Of course,
it's
you're
just
helping.
nuts.
Yeah,
It
that's what
is
I'm
nuts,
saying.
but.
It's obvious with you, Sherry. You're always there for people. I mean, through thick and thin. Whenever it comes to reliability, like I said, you're not an extra. You're a necessity. And whenever that happens, I'll take a look at things and do the best I can. And like I said, I'm trying to learn some amount of aspects whenever I do a potion. I try to say this, Pater Apollo Defendo Servum Tuum. Whenever I use my defensive potion and I put the seal on it, every single time I say it in Latin, and it seems to work and everything. Pater,
Yeah, but that's because certain potions and certain magic that you do needs to be used in a different tongue. Okay, like
yes,
not every spell and every poem or every prayer that you pick up is going to work in a Christianity way. You're going to need some that are going to be Latin words. You're going to have some that are Judaism. It depends
yes,
on what sort of spell or ritual you're doing.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's all different.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. That's one of the reasons. I mean, you think about it. Do you think that every single demon is going to know English? No, it's not. But if you're casting something so like you got an entity from
I'm not being
Italy.
funny, but every spirit and every negative energy can understand what English is.
Yeah, but
Any
not.
energy,
Mhm.
any energy
Okay.
can do that, but just because they understand it doesn't mean they're going to be able to be cast off by it. If their bloodline or their link to what they are is associated with Latin or associated with Judaism, it's not going to work using a Christianity
Mm-hmm.
prayer, is it? You're going to need to
Yeah,
still do a Latin. He would still be able to understand what you're saying now. They all can. They can understand
but
English. They can understand any language. But when it comes to removing them and getting rid of them, each demon has got their own character and their own way. And they're not all going to be done by the same prayer. There's different prayers for different demons. There are different prayers for different
yes,
angels. They're all individually different characters. Do you know what I mean?
and
And
you
not
summarize.
every demon, not every Christian demon that you get rid of means that you're going to be able to get rid of something from a Latin phrase, because you're not. You're going to need to use the Latin tongue.
That's why
Do you know what I mean?
that's why I say that, because what I do, because that chant that I just did, it goes along. Apollo is a universal god or deity, whatever the term you want to use. He was both of Italy and Rome, and also of the Greeks, and so he's going to know Latin a little bit more. And besides that, it's more respectful to learn something's language. Not everybody will think that, but it is more. It is a little bit easier for certain spirits, and a huge amount of respect.
I do think that it is good to try to pick up on different languages because, yeah,
Of course.
like I said to you, they can understand an English accent, no matter what country they're from, yeah. But just some of them would remotely like to just be spoken in their tongue and in their language, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for spirit, that goes for demonic, whatever, And just
Yeah.
remember that when you go in, it don't matter what house you go into. Don't think that every house you go to doing the same prayer or the same spell is going to work on that demonic or that spirit, because it doesn't. They're all uniquely different. They all need
Yeah.
different levels of removing them. Not
Mm-hmm.
every spirit is like, you've got demons that you could get rid of in a couple of hours. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you've got demons that it could take a week to get rid of
Yes.
it. You've got
And that.
demons that it could take months or years to get rid of. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on their power, their strength, their stand in that society that they're in. So obviously in hell, if they're a very high class spirit, demon, whatever you want to call it, they're going to be very, very hard to get rid of, and they're going to
And.
be the most
Mm-hmm.
hardest. And then it's all about the levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, don't sit there and think, okay, well, if I got a lowercase demon, that means it's easy to get rid of. No demonic spirit is easy to get rid of.
No, no,
It does
definitely
not
not.
go without. It does not go without a fight.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I do the defensive potion is
Yeah.
prevention. Is prevention more than anything. And so, like I said, I know the deities, the gods, the angel, God, Jehovah, all the stuff out of respect. If you want something done, you try to appeal to it as much as humanly possible. And that's why whenever I do, like I said, with you just summarized my report, because like I was saying, in the 16th and 17th centuries, they came up with that system to combat that sort of bad stuff from happening. And like if you take a water demon, and you have a saint that's of water, the two the saint has with the exorcist has a huge potential of getting rid of it, or at least toning it down to some degree.
Yeah, because it's of the same place.
That's my point.
Like, because it's the same sort of energy, it's from the same sort of thing, then they're going to be more like if you've got a water demon and then you've got a fire demon, if that's not going to work, is it?
Yes.
You would use something that's of the same element, or something that is greater than that element. Okay,
or yeah. So it's both.
like, that's how it is with demons, and with all spiritual energies, demons, angels, whatever they are. There's all significant ways on how you call upon them. With demons, obviously, on how to get rid of them. You're not gonna, like I said, you're not gonna walk into every single place you go in and be able to use the same prayer. You can't.
Yeah,
okay? You're gonna need to have some understanding of other languages, which is why in the division I've put all that Latin stuff up, because the main tongues and the main languages that are known in that spirituality is obviously the English tongue. That is very known, and a lot of the spirits use that, including demonic. Okay, but then you'll hear a lot of the other demonic spirits come through talking a Latin language. Okay, so they'll sound different. And we get foreign spirits that come through as well. Like I'm not a big talker on French, but I know my basics like bonjour and hello and things like that, like basic conversation. Because I do, like you, Samuel, I do believe that if you can go towards these energies with the right context of them and what they are, then it's going to be easier to understand, and it's going to be easier to sort that problem that they're causing.
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, the thing is, if you can match, well, like I said, that's why the system was developed. That demonologists developed that system to combat it on its own terms. And if you can combat it on its own terms, you have a much and greater chance of success, because, like I said, certain elements contradict one another. I mean, I take like the Chinese.
A lot of people associate the 3 scratches with demonic spirit. Okay, if you get the 3 scratches, it's the mark of the Trinity. Okay, it's the marking of the devil, of demons. Okay, but in my opinion, those 3 scratches are not demonic.
They could be a bit.
A demonic is a very powerful energy, and they don't need to scratch you and push you. They'll do worse. Okay, so 9 times out of 10 when you're getting these 3 scratches, they're just normal spirit warning you away, trying to get you to get away. The fact is with the one way to be able to truly know when you're in front of a demonic spirit is if you ask it 3 times, because it's not allowed to go against the Trinity, good or bad. You're not allowed to. Okay, so if you ask that demon 3 times for his name, he has to tell you, because if he doesn't, things happen.
Yes,
he does have to reveal after the 3rd time of being asked. If it's truly a demonic spirit, it will answer its name after the 3rd attempt, and it may not give you the full name or the proper name that it is, but that name will resemble with a name to do with him in the book or something. You know what I mean? Because with demonic spirits, to be able to get rid of them, you've got to have some sort of understanding of what it is. Okay, so you've either got to have a name, or you've got to have an understanding of what sort of negative energy it is. Okay, so because I'm not being funny, not every negative spirit is going to give you its name. Okay, not all of them do, but there are other ways that you can get them as well, like just by learning their techniques and the way that they move and the way that they do things. You can look online or into your demon books. There's a lot of those books out there, and you put the characters together. There are so many different energies of demons, just as there is spirit, that, you know, there's going to be a few of them, and you would put them down to the ones that are the most likely, and you would do the ritual and the prayer over those names that you've got, and one of them is going to get rid of that energy. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, it's like some of the stuff that I've learned in my time. Like I said, I was never really had any formal training, but the stuff that I've learned in my time, you have to do it. And another thing also is the confidence level. If you
So you've
have
got to have
any,
confidence that you can't do it.
yes, and you have to. And the thing is, at least for me, whenever stuff like that happens, whenever that sort of stuff happens in life, and I guess you could say in death, you have to be ready for it. And if you're not, and you have to know what you're doing, know how you're doing it, and everything. And that's one of the reasons why this system was developed. The hierarchy of demons is because you have to fight it in some sort of way. Because, like I said, humanity, we didn't have a chance whatsoever if you think about it. And then the system came
Well,
up,
no, we
it
didn't.
gave us a fighting chance.
And that's what I'm saying. And like, demons are not something that you just go after and start trying to exorcism and that if you don't have no understanding or anything of them either. You know what I mean? You need to be able to be educated and understanding of them. You have to have at least had experiences of getting rid of them as well, because you will come to realize that, you know, every demon acts different.
Yes.
Okay. Every demon has a different tendency for what it wants. They're not all thinking the same way. You know,
Yes,
so
like you said, they're
if you're not
individuals.
someone that's educated and you're not someone that's done this, then, you know, learning yourself and preparing yourself and being around people that do know what they're talking about and taking their advice is something very important. Okay.
Yes.
You know, you're going to stand there and listen to someone that's done it for God knows how many years compared to somebody that's only done it for a year. If somebody for 20, 30 years is saying to you, don't do this, don't do that, that's for a very good reason. Okay.
Yes.
When, you know, you've got to work in that line of field and in that work, you've got to have a true belief in what you do. As you said as well, Samuel, you've got to be mind, body, and spirit strong. Okay, because if you're not, they will rip you the hell down.
Destroy everything that you are.
They will tear everything from you that you are, because they are that powerful. And you need to be able to have an understanding of them. Why would you go out there and you try to understand everything about spirit people and the other spirit elements? Why would you not do the same with the demons? They are a spirit. They are an energy.
Definitely, because I'm sitting there, because it depends on the person, and that's why apprenticeships happen, is to educate the person. Because you could do bookwork all day and all night. You could do bookwork every single day about various different subjects, but if you don't have the hands-on experience, then not always, but more likely you're going to fail. And if you fail, that's worse than anything else. Because whenever you're fighting that, and you have no experience, then it's going to go. The whole house of cards is going to come crashing down. Now, like I said, everything I've ever learned, I've had to learn on my own. And over the years, it's one of the I have some amount of natural talents, but whenever it comes to dealing with the occult, that's one of the things I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. You're probably 20 times better than me. I don't know why I respect you so immensely, but I do. And so at the end of the day, if all hell was to break loose, I'd want you at my side.
Yeah. And that's what I want people to be able to feel confident in me in that way. Like, I don't pretend to say that I know everything, but the things that I need to know about and the things that I need to know that I know that my people are going to be safe, I do. Okay. And as I say, individually and all the time, everybody works, does prayers, does spells, does things in different ways. There is no right or wrong way to get rid of an energy. Okay. It's just about having that belief, that power, that strength, that you can do that. Because if you've not got that, it's not going to go right. And the worst thing is being in the middle of a demon, fighting him, failing, because all you've done is fed him and made him even stronger, or you've got
Mm-hmm.
rid of him, but you've not rid of him enough, and he comes back and he's even more sodded off as
And
from the first time. You know what
and
I mean?
that's
He's
why,
become even more
yeah,
stronger.
and
So
that's the. Mhm.
they're not an energy that you mess around with, and they're not an energy that you go to try and get rid of if you don't know anything about them.
And look,
You know?
but it all begins with the book work, every bit of it.
Yeah,
Then you
studying,
learn, and then
researching
you,
online, looking in the books, you know,
and
just
seeing,
learning your
yes,
basic stuff you need to know about them, then go into deeper depth. Maybe then you want to take demonology courses
hmm
and other things, just things to heighten your experiences and your education. Then the next level is actually bringing yourself to that point where you've got the strength and the courage to put your work at test.
hmm
Okay.
and
And
definitely,
everybody has to start somewhere. Nobody gets it right the first time. I
no,
didn't. It took me a
hmm
couple of times making a few little mistakes for me to learn how to properly be. Everybody's
yes,
going to make a mistake on their first time. That is just how it is. As long as you've got people there that know what they're doing and can put that issue right. Because if you don't learn, how do you know? And you don't make mistakes, how do you know if you're doing it right? You don't. So everybody's like that. Yeah, you might be physically ready because of all your
hmm
education you've done, but it doesn't mean that you're manually ready, where you're going to actually physically put your body into that and your soul and do it. You know, you've got to be ready in every single aspect. And
yes, yeah.
like I said to you, you know, you won't get it right the first time. Nobody does. Okay, everybody's got to learn to get better.
hmm and that's
You know what I mean?
like I said, that's the thing. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff in my time, but the overwhelming majority I had to learn on my own. But like I said, with someone like you, anyone should be proud to have you as their sensei, teacher, master, whatever you want to call them. You, like I said, I've come across people, but you're unique. You are definitely unique, Sherry, and that's one of the reasons
I was
why
made
I
to be
come there.
unique. I was made to reach out to people in a different way. I'm not
Yeah.
somebody that's been educated by other people and spiritual people. I
Mm-hmm.
am a natural learner. I've learned through
Mm-hmm.
my own experiences and learning myself and studying and doing all that sort of thing. That's how I've become who I am. Nobody's learnt me to get to this level. I've done it myself because it's my
Well,
belief and it's my trust in who I am, because I know who I am. You know what I mean?
I
So
would. I definitely need to meet you. I definitely need to meet you. But like I said, I mean, I'm sitting there listening to all this and everything, and it definitely does that. And also with the
Col
next week,
el Oda de Gest what? Gestriestro Iris Disterido de Est Luga.
uh, Aries, War God. Did you say Potter or Father Aries? Something like that.
Port. No, I'm reading the Latin stuff that's in the room.
Of course. Of course.
Tu hal habilis Espanol. That's what Smith family are writing in the room.
Oh, okay. I love them. I adore them. I mean, but I joke around about a lot of stuff, but this is one of the few things that I'm kind of passionate about. Um, but like I said, with all that, one day I hope we all meet at the same, literally all the same time at some point in the future, and
It
I'm
would
kind
be
of looking
good. It
forward
would
to
be
that.
able. It'd be really cool to be able to meet up with you guys and go to
hmm
some places and do some stuff. It would be really interesting, and it'd be really nice to be able to get myself out there and learn you guys
hmm
the proper way and let you experience the things that you've not experienced yet. You know,
Yeah.
I've gone into houses and cleansed them and got rid of demonic spirit. I know how to do all of that. So,
hmm And hell yeah.
and I love investigating. So I'd just be in
I would
my
never
element.
thought that with you, Cher. I would have never thought that you love investigating. I am so surprised. I mean, for God's sakes, what I mean, you just surprised me. I
Yeah, no.
mean, But like I
I'm
said,
definitely getting back out to that. I'm not, and I don't mean that by like staying in. I'm going to be trying to get back out. My first attempt is to go back to a graveyard that I want to go to because I haven't done it for a while.
Yeah, I would definitely, like I said, I would definitely love to be doing that. Another thing, also, I got to send you some more pictures. I forgot a few of my old files on this computer are still there, and I need to publish them on well, at least put them on the website, not the website, but the Facebook, and
Yeah,
get
that's
your.
fine.
Yeah, I can't wait to be doing that. But yeah, for the most part. I'm doing what I can to learn all that. I've gotten a lot better on my book work and everything. I know one person. I went to her house, and like I said, and this is my neighbor. I go over to her apartment, and we're just sitting there talking. I looked around. I'm sensing something, and I felt bad for her, but I was listening to her, and I said, "1 second," and she goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "How long have you had a spirit in here?" She thought she had been losing her mind for years. She's lived in this apartment complex for several years, and so she literally thought she was losing her mind, that she never ever talked about. And so I said, "Can I just walk in? I need to get something." She goes, "You're going to leave me alone?" And I'm like, "No, just give me a second." And so she comes back. I come back into her place, and I said, "Show me where he is." Because I can sense them. I can't see them. I can't pinpoint them directly. Sort of like a radius of a circle. And she leads me to the bathroom, and I told him, "Get the hell out." And then remember that potion that I showed you, the older one? I threw some of that at him, and he was banished. And so she had two more, got rid of them. But then there's the one of the reasons why I do the shadow potion thing, because I go over there, and she wouldn't let me banish it because she had the wolf in sheep's clothing sort of effect in a closet that she has, a pantry, whatever you want to call it. And she wouldn't let me do it. And so that happened a couple of years ago. Now, this is the different sort of thing. I didn't go for a few years, and then she came, and then she started having all these health problems. Some reason she lives by the rule of three, unfortunately, for her case. So, her health problems started coming back up because the portals that were in her house. And so she had that happen. Then she left to go for her birthday in August. And so I started sealing up things. I started taking this one, putting them on the portals, but she would not let me get the one in the pantry. She will not let me do it. And I can't
She obviously
exercise.
believes that is something else, and it's obviously got
She
some
thinks
sort of bind over her.
that it's a wolf in sheep's clothing sort of thing. She thinks it's a little girl in there that's a spirit. No, it's got some amount of good draped over it, but in the center of it, it's a nasty freaking spirit. And so I didn't tell, I couldn't banish it, but I put a seal on the door so it wouldn't be able to come out and do anything. So only the living can go in there, but the dead can't. So that spirit is stuck in that little pantry as long as the potion remains. Well, the seal is there. So that's what I did. And then the other day she came back home after her trip, and she told me she hadn't slept like that in about 2 years. So I did some good. So, but like I said, she told a friend of hers, and her friend thinks I'm nuts, but my neighbor is defending me left and right. So
there's nothing nuts about what we do and stuff
oh
like
God,
that.
no.
People need to be more open to the realities of what actually really happens in this world, because a lot of people are very closed and they really don't realize what walks around them every day and does whatever, you know what I mean? So
Yes,
Hadrian Eustro Q este en el cielo, santinfado si tu nombre.
Wow. Nombre, number, the number of the beast? Something like that?
No, nombre. It's they're doing the Lord's Prayer in Spanish.
Ah, wow. That is something
Yeah.
I have no, whenever I was in high school, they told me just give up on learning foreign languages. They literally told me
I
that.
don't know what it is about me. Like with me, like if somebody was to speak it out physically to me, I would not understand what they're saying, and I would really, really struggle to pick it up. I'm
Mhm.
dyslexic, but I seem to find foreign language very easy to read. It's really weird. I can read it. If I read English writing, I struggle. But if I
Mhm.
read foreign writing, for some reason, I find it a lot more easier to
Mhm.
understand.
And
Weird.
I've got my good friend. I got a good friend of mine, and she's saying I'm getting better with my Latin. Keep in mind she was married to a Hispanic gentleman. It didn't work out, but all they ever spoke in that house was a dialect of Spanish. And so I've been practicing that with her, and she said your teacher's a piece of crap for telling you to never try that. And that's what she
No, and
said.
nobody should be able to tell you that. Everybody learns at different levels and stuff. Nobody is
Mhm.
incapable of learning another language. It's just for some people it takes longer. And as a
Yes.
teacher, they should have more audacity than that, and they should know that putting people
Mhm.
down for what they're trying to do is not a way that their career should be. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
she's right there,
Yeah.
And don't
Oh.
ever listen to what other people say when they tell you if you can or can't do something.
Mhm.
Prove them wrong.
Oh hell yeah. Besides that, there's no better revenge than making somebody eat their words.
Yeah, that is the best feeling ever when people realize that you can do the things that they've always doubted you to be able to
Mhm.
do. It's the best feeling in the world.
Well, well,
But
like I
there
said,
is no questions or anything coming in the room, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed the show tonight. And I hope that you've enjoyed to hear about the demons and our very interesting talk after, and the little bit of Latin, Spanish language bit going on in the room. We hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed the show with Samuel. Again, Samuel, thank you so much for doing the show and
well, it's
talking
an
to us
honor.
about demons.
It's been an honor. It's been an
And
honor.
please make sure that you follow his work. He has sent it over to me, and I will be putting it into the Facebook page tomorrow. So you guys will be able to read up on it more. And as I said, I will be doing a follow-on show talking in more depth about demons and other demon names and meanings and stuff like that, and getting a little bit more in education. But please tune in with me tomorrow night. Well, tonight for me now, because it is actually Sunday for me. But
Yeah.
tonight, because I am doing the follow-on from Samuel's show on angels. So I'm going to be talking to you about a little bit more history in angels and their levels that they come from and all that sort of thing. So please tune in. That will be at, I think I said that was at 7 p.m. my time. So tune in for that tomorrow. That would be really cool to have you all there. And again, we've had amazing Samuel up here to educate you with demons. We hope that you enjoy it. We hope that you sleep perfectly fine tonight, guys, and you don't start freaking out. And we will see you very, very soon. And adios. Lots of love, light, and blessings, sweethearts. And thank you very much. And I'm just going to play the intro out so that we can end the stream. Good night, guys. Be safe, be blessed. Blessed be.